Police building update. As you can see, the trailer was pulled out the last meeting too. So we do have a meeting on Monday to finalize some things. The flooring is complete, the painting complete, ceilings complete, the doors and windows, the overhead doors are all installed. It is a self-sufficient building now, so we have power. It's on its own power. It's running AC right now. And we have a couple more things that we're waiting on bids to come back, basically for the IT and security system. And the sign, we're waiting on that, the finalization of the sign.
Something else with the paving too, right?
They're working on that now. That's what they're starting to do. They're doing the engineering and
There was another component of the paving. We only did the first part. They were trying to do something.
that's right. That's another bid that's gotta come in. Yeah. Yep. And that's not in either. But you'll start seeing some of the grounds getting cleaned up with paving, the sidewalks, landscaping. So it's coming together. It's coming together.
Are we still on track?
So we're looking probably the beginning of October. Right now, we still have the date of September 14th, but we're trying to figure out with the bids coming in and the lead time on some of the products that we have to purchase between IT and the sign. Some of that stuff is,
Yeah,
you know,
because
8 weeks out,
mid-September's
so-
only a week away.
Right,
I mean, a
right.
month away.
I spoke with
oh,
Dave.
sorry, Chief. Can,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we can't see you over there.
Done on purchase. So I spoke with Dave, the GC over there, and they're looking at mid-November now.
okay.
The floors, they were waiting for the moisture to come down.
Yeah, that's just the IT room though, right? Left.
No, it's the whole building
Is it?
before they can do the floors, yeah. But that's gonna be happening this week, I believe. The building will be done soon, but as far as the grounds and opening everything, not till mid-November, he's saying. He's saying they're shooting for Thanksgiving,
I'll push that.
so, yeah.
I'll push that.
Yeah.
I'll push that. Thanks, Chief.
Come on up for the first snow.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll push that. Any discussion on the building update?
No.
No, what, okay.
Did you pass me the agenda?
Okay.
He's going in.
Oh, I got one, here, I got one.
Okay, well then I'll toss you.
All right. New business. Building and zoning official duties. So what we're trying to do is we're always trying to make efficiencies within town, any way we can. Cost efficiency and work efficiency. So what we're working on is splitting up the building and zoning. And there are people that have more time and ability to work on the zoning side, which we have to do. So, you know, we did receive that letter from the planning department, so we're taking action on that letter. This is one of the things we're doing. So we're separating the building and zoning duties, and he's gonna be strictly building. We do have a lot of building going on, so he is very busy on the building, and we have time constraints in building legally. They have to go out and inspect. They have to go out and go with permits. So that really has to be his priority. So we do have other people available that we're going to use for zoning. So we are moving that over. Actually, it's going to the planning department is going to take the zoning side of it. Well,
Right, the planning department.
but it's gonna be
Answer to
not the-
council.
it's what?
But they answer to the council, not to the planning, not to.
No,
the
no, no,
planning
no. It's going to be
Right.
planning. Peter LaPola,
And Jeff.
Jeff Poland eventually.
Yeah.
I think we should actually entertain a motion to have Peter LaPola be the zoning official,
Are we,
so we can do it.
are we moving down to the second one?
No, did I move it?
But, well, no, we.
No, no, it's different.
Oh,
That's
okay.
different. That's different. So I'll entertain a motion to have Peter LaPola be the zoning official for the town.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Same.
You get what I'm saying? Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And this is gonna help that part of the department be more efficient.
And in his absence, because both of those two people, the building official and the zoning official are both part-time. Jeff is the one who's there all the time, full-time, so Jeff is gonna act in his stead. It's also important to note that they're currently working on all our zoning ordinances
Mhm.
and they're looking to make some changes, so they're very, very familiar with them. So it doesn't seem like a natural fit.
Okay, great.
All right. Zoning appointment, I have one resume here for John Piziak, sorry.
Wait a minute. I thought that, wait a minute.
No, so.
So there's zoning
You
official,
combined.
zoning board,
Oh, what did I?
Position 1 and 2,
that's what I
that's
was saying.
missing.
That's what I was saying. We combined.
Oh, I'm
one and
sorry.
two.
That's not, I thought it was one.
No.
My apologies.
Splitting the position.
Yeah.
Number 2
Okay.
is the appointment of the new person
Exactly.
now.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You are now done.
Nice.
Yes.
Probably should have been just one line.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, that's fine.
With a
The
slide.
You know what, well, let's,
Move on to block.
yeah,
Split.
let's move on to the flock cameras. So this is open for discussion. So we do have a video from Flock Safety that we're gonna show right now. So everyone at home can see it and everyone here can see it. No, fall asleep.
Falsely. Okay.
While she's doing that, I think it's important to note too, there was something else, that the zoning officials' hours are gonna decrease to 5 hours, 3 times, 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the
Alright.
same
I will
on
use the other 3 hours for the zoning.
building official, yeah.
Okay, so the building officials go in 3 days.
The zoning is gonna be decreased?
Yeah, it's
Or the-
building, yeah,
Building is
yeah,
gonna
it's
be
building, it's not the
decreased.
zoning, yeah,
I know
building to
the
be
zoning
decreased.
is gonna pick up those
Yeah.
extra hours. So instead of working 18 hours, he's going down to 15.
Right.
Okay. Now, who put out this video? What's
Flock. The company, I think.
the company itself puts out the video? Okay.
Well, is there anybody here that would like to discuss Flock? While we're here? No? Okay.
Tell people what they are.
What's that?
Tell people what they are.
So,
That's what the video.
yeah,
is
this is the
gonna
videos
do.
for. So we do have 2 in town. They are for license plate readers. And they also pick up some key characteristics of the vehicle when they come through town. And here's the video. Yep.
One mission, build safer communities. Since then, our cameras have provided evidence in over 1 million criminal investigations and helped first responders rescue tens of thousands of missing people. In July alone, with the help of our customers, we detected over 1,000 missing people and over 20,000 stolen cars. However, its impact areas of responsibility to build a society that we want our children to grow up in, where both safety and privacy can coexist. And look, I've learned a lot over the last 9 years. Some of it we learned from our law enforcement customers, and some of it by listening to the communities they serve. And so today, I'm here to announce a handful of changes that will come from that. These changes reflect years of work and innovation, and they're not the end of that. We're not perfect, we're far from it. But we want to listen. We're improving and building a better standard of public safety technology. These changes fall into 3 big areas: privacy, security, and accountability. Together, they mark a new chapter for the company. The standard we believe every company building public safety technology should be held to. So let's start with privacy. And with our gunshot detection body, these gunshot detection sensors are separate from the plug-in. We don't have it installed in the community. They triangulate the sound of gunshots, explosions, unequal collisions.
They be busy.
Faster response to emergency, faster medical care quickness. They also provide key evidence for prosecuting gun-related crimes, such as drive-by shootings. Over time, customers asked us whether this same audio device could detect other signals, like a human distress in a parking lot or park. While we prototyped these ideas, we underestimated community concerns. After listening to feedback, we chose to refocus our product on its original purpose: gunshot detection. Our products do not and will not identify human voices. They record for 3 seconds. They do not transcribe speech, and they do not enable searching for stolen points. Second, live video on ALPR cameras. Flock makes 2 kinds of cameras, and the difference matters. Our ALPR cameras take still photographs of passing cameras. We also make traditional live video cameras, a separate product that communities knowingly deploy for exactly that purpose. That's not a new capability. Cities and businesses have been deploying live video cameras in places of public safety concern for decades, long before flopping system. Some of our live video cameras look exactly like our ALPR cameras, and some of them look different because they have pan, tilt, zoom capability. Over time, some customers asked if ALPR cameras could also capture live video. We ran a pilot that added live video capability to ALPR cameras for less than 0.1% of our customers. We since ended that pilot. Look, many of our competitors do offer live video on their ALPR devices. We decided we will not. Every device we sell should do exactly what a community expects it to do. Our ALPR cameras capture still images, our live video cameras capture video. Third, data retention. Our default retention period has been 30 days, shorter than any other ALPR provider. Yet we have always honored the community decisions, state laws that set shorter or longer periods. Today, we're cutting our default to 7 days. That means that every image our cameras capture is by default purged from the customer's database after 1 week, unless it becomes evidence in an active criminal investigation, in which case it enters evidence mode and is retained as the law requires. Communities will continue to choose the retention policy that fits their public safety strategy, whether that's 30 days, 7 days, or less. We respect each community's right to choose a public safety strategy that fits their needs. And on the question of who owns this data, let me be absolutely clear. Our customers own it. We've never sold it, and we never will. When we use data to improve our systems, for example, to make our plate reading capability more accurate, we use a diverse set of sample data curated to maximize accuracy. This data represents less than 1% of images and is stripped of any customer identifying metadata. To make this commitment easier to understand, next week we will publish an easy-to-read, plain English explanation of our contract on our website, organized section by section. The principles are simple. Customers own the data. Customers decide who has access, and customers choose who they share with. Now, security. In December of 2025, researchers identified a cellular network configuration error affecting a limited number of our PTZ cameras. This was an error by one of our vendors, but we are accountable. And I want to be direct about what it meant. For a brief period of time, third parties were able to access live streams and footage from those cameras. No data stored in our secure cloud was accessed, and the streams and footage were in public places where public cameras can and have been streamed in the past. But this was still a security issue. We fixed the issue immediately upon discovery, and a full audit confirmed the misconfiguration affected fewer than 0.05% of our deployed fleet. Every which one has been remediated. Since that incident, we've engaged Bishop Fox, a leading independent security firm, to conduct a thorough review of our products and capabilities. And we are publishing that summary of findings for anyone to read. We're also launching a coordinated vulnerability disclosure program. Flock's CVD gives security researchers a safe, preventative path to report and disclose their work while receiving recognition. Researchers can disclose issues at vulnerability.disclosure@flocksafety.com. At the beginning of this month, we also made multi-factor authentication, or MFA, mandatory for anyone logging into Flock, increasing our security standards for all customers. Look, security is an ongoing responsibility. We will continue to test, prove, and update our controls to protect customer data and maintain a strong security posture. That brings me to the third area, accountability, both ours and that of people who use our tools. So let's start with transparency. We were the first public safety technology provider to launch Community Transparency Corpus. It's a public webpage unique to each community, showing the total number of cameras, the LPR alerts, broken down by category. Each portal also shows the agency's data retention policy, who they share with, the success stories, answers to common questions related to policy and trust. More than 1,500 cities and counties have already launched their portals, and we're seeing new ones come online every day. Next, let's talk about accuracy. Our most recent study shows that for every 1 million ALPR alerts, roughly 9 of those are identified as inaccurate by human, making our ALPR cameras the most accurate on the market. Accuracy matters because it's the one factor within our control that reduces the chance of an officer stopping a wrong vehicle. Some causes of bad alerts sit outside of our control. An incorrect plate number entered into the federal NCI database, or a plate that wasn't removed from that list after stolen vehicles recovered can still trigger an alert, which is why we're making it as easy as possible for officers to verify the alert status and mute alerts that are invalid. But let me be equally clear about the rule that governs all of this. Unverified ALPR alert alone is not a lawful basis for a stop. Officers should verify that the vehicle matches the alert, that the alert is still active prior to taking any type of enforcement action. When agencies follow the proper procedures, the results speak for themselves. For example, an independent audit of the Austin Police Department's ALPR-related traffic stops examined 13,122 alert matches and found 0 incorrect or unjustified stops. And finally, the change we consider most important, because it addresses a problem our industry is excellence, the misuse and abuse of police data systems. In America today, parts across the country, a small number of officers misuse these systems most of the time. Nobody catches them. Let me be specific here. As
It's
a
raining.
example of about to do real life story. An officer runs a license. Windows up here. Team as a manager. Or an officer has criminal history, his daughter's boyfriend. If an officer meets a woman on a call, then searches her records. Or an officer runs a name, the date of birth, find an address, into the punitive records. Here's what most people don't know. In most of these systems, there's too much activity to meaningfully audit every use. At best, an oversight agency conducts a manual spot check on a random sample of searches or reacts to a complaint that needs to be investigated. Most documented cases, the misuse came to light only because the victim discovered it themselves. This is a systemic issue that goes far beyond any single technology company. And that is why we are committed to enhance the tools, auditing both manageable and repeatable. For 9 years, we have built accountability in the fund. We started with the basic audit fund and have continued to strengthen safeguards around every search. Roughly 16 weeks ago, we introduced a new tool called Audit Assistance, which detects abnormal activity and flags it for review by the ALPR administrator. In the last few weeks, those reviews have been associated with a number of arrests of law enforcement officers accused of abusing the system, underscoring the importance of identifying misuse. We are now making this accountability system mandatory for every customer. We have instituted automatic lockouts for users who are flagged for potential misuse. To our knowledge, no other system in American policing does this. We made this decision knowing exactly what it would service. In the time since we have turned this on, you may have seen headlines about officers abusing flag. Those headlines are not the scandal. They are the success of safeguards working. We are taking one more step in addition to audit assistance. In July of 2025, we introduced an optional case code requirement for searches, meaning every search must be associated with an actual criminal investigation. Early results from participating agencies have been promising, so we will require case codes for all law enforcement searches by the end of the year. But because emergency situations do exist and do require immediate action, there will be a process to bypass this requirement. Every one of those searches will be flagged immediately by audit assistance for administrative review. This was not an easy decision. Police departments are our customers, and we have built a capability designed to catch their worst actors. But our customers have customers of their own. Departments serve communities, and if we're going to build tools this powerful, we have an obligation to help protect the public. The small number of officers who use them. The overwhelming majority of officers do the job the right way, and they have nothing to fear from a system that keeps honest records. And when an officer does misuse flag, the agency should be asking, what else is he misusing? We can't fix this alone. So today we're making 2 asks. First, to state legislators, make this a law. Require real auditing of every law enforcement data system in your state, including your own. In fact, if your state wants help, we're happy to be there. And raise the penalties. An officer who uses these systems to stalk someone or settle a score should face severe criminal charges and lose their certification permanently. We don't think our industry should wait for any laws. To every other company in this space, build this level of auditing with your tools. It means documenting case code for every search, an audit log for every action, and automatic flagging of suspicious patterns, with a human review for everything that's flagged. If you sell power, you owe the public the guardrails. So we invite every company in our industry to join us. And we will continue to make commitments to the communities we serve, commitments that may differ from other companies in this industry. We will not sell ALPR data to third parties. We will not add facial recognition to our devices, and we will not weaponize our drones. Everything I've described today, privacy changes, the security changes, the accountability systems, comes down to one idea. Tools this powerful must come with guardrails this strong. This is the standard we are holding ourselves to from this day forward. It is the standard we invite our history, our legislators, and the communities we serve to hold us to. 9 years ago, we set out to build safer communities, and that goal hasn't changed. But I have come to realize that this impact carries a real responsibility. We must build towards a society that we want our children to grow up in, where safety and privacy coexist.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay,
I make a motion that we remove the flock cameras.
I'll second.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
I'd like to make a statement. Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people see my view on it. I personally see the benefits of it. I know it does a lot for safety. But I had several concerned residents reach out and try to contact me about this. And I think that this was put in place before I was ever on the town council, so I had no idea about it, but that many concerned residents wanting to talk and discuss it
Mhm.
further. I think I'm not saying that it would not pass, but I think it should be up to the residents. That way they can take part and speak about it and have questions answered. That way they feel safe
Mhm.
with it. I can personally see both sides. I have nothing to hide, so I would be fine with it personally. I know it's a safety thing. And you never know what happens in a small town like what we have. Stuff like that can really help any situation. But it should be up to the residents to vote on it, not just put in place, because this is their town.
All right, I mean, I did receive some emails and some phone calls. I also have a letter that the town received that we put into our sugar sink. So I do have a lot of concern from residents about the flock cameras. I think some of it may be based on media attention. And it may not be just on the explanation of what flock cameras are for and what they do, the security. I think, in my opinion, I think it would be good if it wasn't a national program. I think people's views on it might be a little different if it wasn't a national program. But it was when it's shared across the national network, looking for certain plates, I think that's where people start questioning the tracking of vehicles and then the vehicles with the people. I think that's the questions I received from constituents, and there were enough.
Yeah,
There were enough
I
received.
see it both ways. I reached out to the chief to get some answers because I had people that had called me too, and I really didn't know much about these flock cameras. And there were people that were adamant it's violating our Fourth Amendment rights, and there have been lawsuits filed. And one of the people who called me, his son is an attorney, and said that it is a Fourth Amendment violation. I see it from like our perspective, being on emergency services, being in the police department, that it is a really helpful tool. James said something about it, and Gordon actually had a video from the State House about it. He's going to be putting in a bill for the flock cameras, for these controls. I think that's what people want. That just so many people have brought concerns about them.
I think, in my opinion, I think the controls, if they were set up ahead of time before the flock came in.
I
flock
think so
cameras,
too.
I think you'd have more of a buy-in from the general public.
I think so
The
too.
issues I have is, we didn't know they were there.
Yeah, well,
They were installed without us knowing.
Hmm.
And it wasn't any of these guys here, it was previous to them. They've been there for almost a year.
Yeah, I didn't know
So-
about them.
That's one of them.
But go ahead.
It looks like they did put some guardrails in effect.
Mhm.
Because when I was looking at it before, you know, where you can skip, they can skip where they don't have to type something in, and they weren't tracking that. And that's big, because when you're skipping fields, that means you're just, or you're making just crime and then it pulls everybody. You know, those are the things were my concern when I was researching it. I don't know how old that video is, but
it's newer, yeah.
it just came out. So they are putting things in place, which is good. And you said we don't have the, yeah,
Absolutely, Chief,
Cool.
you gotta, yeah, please.
Well, this is obviously a huge hot button topic, and that's why I
Years ago.
brought this video in. Um, yeah, okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Um,
Very new.
there were a lot of untruths and myths about flock going out there in the public. I'm actually surprised there's not more people here to
Me too.
Oh, I-
to get this video. I mean, with the amount of complaints that we've gotten,
Thought about changing the location of the meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised. Anyway, hopefully the people that were here were educated by that video. It explains a lot. There are safeguards in place. It stated it right on the video. We can't do a search without an officer's name getting attached to it, a number. It's all traceable. There's a transparency portal that any of you can go on there and look and see, okay, what were the searches done today? It says there were 30, I think there was 30 searches done in the last 30 days, something like that. And it's all listed there. So it's very transparent. We've used this tool, and that's exactly what it is. It's a tool for us. And it's been very successful. We've solved robberies. We had an elderly gentleman with dementia that was missing. We found him in Narragansett. No idea where he was. You know,
So-
vehicles,
communicating with other areas, because
correct.
obviously our cameras here.
Correct. And we have to sign, it's almost like an MOU with other departments that we share this information with. You know, there's all other things that it's solved, like hit and run. You know, vehicle gets hit, the operator takes off, and we can track it like that.
Mhm.
There's no facial recognition. These cameras can't open up your phone in your pocket and unlock it and send your last billing statement to Kim Jong-un in Korea or whatever. There's so many mistruths out there. It's strictly a camera that takes pictures. It can't do anything more than an officer can do sitting on the side.
I do have a I don't know if you have the answer, but if,
Try.
for auditing purposes,
Mhm.
you can see who accessed the cameras. Or
Every
the
single
data,
time.
the data, not the cameras, the data, right? Because someone's pulling a plate. So the
Yes,
plate is,
yes, we can
can
see
you
the pictures.
see people outside of
No.
Foster that accesses?
Oh, yeah, yes,
So
yes.
so whoever accesses the data that comes through our cameras
Mhm.
in Foster.
And we have an agreement with those
Yep.
departments.
And you can see who actually tried to access that data for whatever reason they had to
Yes.
access it.
So other departments can access our cameras.
It's
with-
not the cameras, it's actually the data, because it's only from what the documentation says. It's held on the camera until they do a cellular upload to the cloud.
Yeah,
And
like,
yeah, and once it's in the cloud, then that's where they're pulling the data from. They're not
It's-
pulling it directly from the camera.
Okay,
But it is tagged with the camera it came from, so they know exactly where that
so,
card.
Which is held for 7 days.
7
And
days.
then it's a race.
And how about in our system here? That's theirs, fly.
7 days. No, it's ours.
That's ours.
We own,
Okay.
any information from our cameras is ours.
Right,
own it.
and it,
And it deletes after 7 days, unless it's part of an investigation, then
Right.
it's safe for longer.
Right. okay.
I would like to add, I'm 100% for it, because I have nothing to hide.
Right.
And I know it's a safety thing.
Mhm.
God forbid somebody took a child from the school,
100%.
they would, be able to track them down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and your guys' motto is protect and serve. And what better way to gain the trust of the community is put it in their hands, and
Yeah.
hey, they just need education on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Gotta
that's
reach
what
out.
this video is for. Unfortunately, there's not that many people here.
Right.
I'd also like to add that, with this auditing and these cameras, it's a lot easier for us to monitor this with such a small department. Providence, you have hundreds of officers. That's probably going to be very difficult to monitor.
Right.
Not saying that they won't, or they can't, or they're not, but I know my 10, 15 guys and I audit them. Like, it's not hard for me to.
Yeah, and that's why I
And
was
it's
just
very
mentioning
important.
about
It's
all
all
the,
what you're comfortable
all
with.
the departments accessing our data. Because we have an agreement with them. So Providence can access our data because they're looking for people that came in from Connecticut and they think they drove through here.
Mhm.
They can pull our data too. I think that was one of the questions about where the data goes. And who's keeping track of that side of it. I know it's deleted
It's
after
ours.
7 days.
We keep
Right.
track of it.
Right, but I'm saying once they pull that data, now they have it. So they can pull the data and look at it in Providence or in Pawtucket. And if that vehicle drove by our cameras in Foster, because we have an agreement with that town, at least that's the way I read it. That because now they're pulling a certain plate. Now they have to pull it from our data because they drove through our town with hit our cameras.
Or say.
So it's
that-
that's still our data.
Mhm.
But now
But
they,
we're sharing it with them.
right. So that's the agreement. I think that's
So
really the,
They have.
Yeah.
they-
because it's an open agreement
So-
instead of like you getting a phone call from the chief of Providence saying, hey, I'm looking for this vehicle. There's a Bolo. That's something, you know what I mean? It's more,
I understand what you're saying.
okay, all right.
There's also an option that, and this is give and take. I mean, they're sharing it with us because we're sharing it with them. There is an option where we can make it so that we'll get a message saying that Providence is looking for this. There was a hit on your camera. Providence would like this information. And they'll send us that message before we send anything to them. So we can do our due diligence to make sure, is this legit? You know what I mean? But again, you have those safeguards where if an officer is making random search, or not random, but like searches that are questionable, it flags it.
Right.
And if those departments are doing what they're supposed to, auditing their searches, this isn't a
Yeah, and
problem.
I think that's
That's
the
the
key
issue.
point. Believe me, all the complaints that I
Yeah.
received had nothing to do with our department
Yeah.
individually.
Well, that makes
It
me
was
feel
about
good.
where the data actually going. It wasn't, it wasn't a complaint with our
Yeah.
department. Everyone's like,
where-
no, we know we're good here.
They just
It's
have
where it
control.
goes.
Okay.
There's no, like the control, the full control isn't
Mhm.
there. And I know it's a 7-day deletion, which some of them actually hold it for 30 days.
And it's
Well,
strict.
yeah, the change.
Yeah.
Mm.
It still happens.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Yeah,
make
you
a
can do
suggestion.
3.
Can I ask Tyler another question?
Yep.
Was this a trial that we got this on?
No, we've had this for 2 years.
And what is the cost? That was another big thing.
Per year, it's $6,000 for 2 cameras.
6,000 for 2 cameras. Okay, because I had people ask me and I'm honestly, I had no idea.
So we initially paid for it with Lesso money.
Okay.
We had
Mhm.
Lesso money put aside from another program.
Yeah.
Just to see how it ran. And it ran well. We had no issues. And now it's a hot button topic. So now we're here and trying to
I
explain.
think, yeah, I think nobody, and I understand, we talked about it.
Mhm.
And I totally understand from a safety standpoint and an EMS especially standpoint, police. But the number of people that are outraged about this.
I know, where are they?
It's amazing.
I'm like,
They're on their laptops.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess, they're not
No,
here.
it's, Chief, can I just get a,
No.
right up there?
Oh, they're not?
Thank you.
Okay.
Lynn Ryder Burgess Road. First of all, I think people are naive if they don't think that their face is all over the. I mean,
Yeah.
forget about control. So many people have Ring cameras and every other kind of camera.
Mhm.
If you walk up and down your road, you're probably videotaped a million times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think as far as the local control, I mean, I'm thinking that if there was an Amber Alert and you expect, and you know, where you only have hours perhaps to find a child safely, to have Providence have to contact you in order to, you know, then get permission to look at that particular site or find out if that plate, I think that costs a bit of time. Is it possible, and I don't know how many people would watch it, to put that on the town website and kind of publicize that this video so people are more aware?
Yeah, we can.
I mean, I know if you left, and believe me, I believe in leaving a lot up to the residents. But in some case, particularly in safety, if you left it up to the residents in Foster, we wouldn't have speed limits. Okay, I mean, to be honest. So you know, again, I don't think people are aware of just how little privacy we have already.
Mhm.
It was this, how did it not get this info that we have these cameras not get disseminated through the state? I mean, did the state police didn't, I mean, it's a state road, so I'm assuming the state put them up.
No, we put them up. The company put them up, but we had to have DOT permission.
I'm sorry, chief. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
Thank you, Lynn. All very good points. We had to get that approved by DOT when Flock put the cameras up. Their locations and whatnot, to make sure it's not like obscuring your view in traffic and all that stuff. So yeah, you make very good points. Like, there's no expectation of privacy in public, right? And you know, as far as the Fourth Amendment, you know, the Supreme Court hasn't ruled it a violation yet. If they do, well, then we have a problem. But
Yeah.
you know, that hasn't changed. So
I think particularly since we have, I think particularly since we have such a small police department, we can't expect them to be everywhere.
Right.
And,
Great.
you know, time is of the essence. I don't care if it's an Amber Alert, a Silver Alert, whatever. It's a tool.
Most definitely. I think the biggest concern is with the residents is mostly not the police department. It's because it's monitored by a third party. It's like what was expressed to me. That's out of their control because it's not, you know, it's a tool, they're using it, but it's actually monitored by a third party.
and I think that's what the president said, that he was alluding to, that it's not us, it's other departments that are getting the data from us.
Right.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, it's not even just, yeah, it's not just the third party, in my
Right.
opinion. I think it's who's accessing our.
And that's
data.
something we
Right.
can look at, putting that filter up where they don't get that data, but they request it from us. So it's not readily accessible.
Yeah, I think what the problem that we're running into, trying to explain it to, is it's almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, I think the safeguards at a legal level, whether done by the state or done by the town via an ordinance, should have been done prior to putting all the flock cameras out. It probably should have been done by the state because it was a program that came out to the town via the state. And that didn't happen. It was kind of like, here they are, utilize the third party safeguards, which they're very good. Obviously, I didn't see that video until today. So, I mean, they do have good safeguards, but it's always that question of where that data goes. And that's with everything. That's with everything.
You know, us as police officers, we have access to databases. There's gonna be that one bad apple, you know, and that's up to us to monitor that and to make sure those people are held accountable. that is our job. Otherwise, we're subject to termination. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't even bring that part up, because that you're always gonna have that. in
Right.
Any industry.
It just happened in
Yeah.
a town next door to us. There was an officer that was using Rylets to find out who was in what car and he got terminated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes, sir. Just state your name and address, please.
Robert DeRosa, 100 Danielson Pike. Nice to see the police department here. Thank you very much for your service. I believe in the flock cameras, and I'm going to tell you a quick story about that. About 2 years ago, I was in South Kingstown and my number plates were stolen off my truck. Fast forward, I wanted to keep the same number plates, so I had to apply with the registry to get them renewed. Took about 2 months. After I got my new plates, I was driving through Woonsocket. Got a call from the South Kingstown Police Department, asking me where I was. Wanted to know my location. I said, I'm in Woonsocket. I said, "Why? How do you know that?" She said, we just picked you up on a camera. We just want to verify that you got new plates and your truck, you're in your truck driving your truck. So it does work. It does work. And I think that the police department should have every tool that they need to do their job the way they're supposed to. And my opinion is the people that are not here to complain about it is because they don't know what it does. They're afraid of what it does. They think that their information is going to get stolen or given to other people, and it's not. We trust these people with our lives. I think we can trust them with our data for our number plates, and it does work. It does work.
I do agree.
So thank you again for your service. I've got some other topics I want to talk about on the public comments. Should I wait till then?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we table this vote and do 2 public hearings just for the flock cameras. So if anybody wants to complain, they can come to those meetings.
Well,
Is that a possibility, Laura?
Yeah.
I think it is. I think we also need more information and I asked the president for a contract because I'm assuming there is a contract. So I think they would need more information as to what termination would actually look like
Yeah,
as far as that's concerned too. So I think we need
Yeah, 'cause
more
you wanna be smart
information.
about it, yeah.
Right, we want more information about that too.
So we do have a contract with them. There's also a policy that we have that you can have access to.
Mhm.
Anybody can look at it. And I did have scheduled for, I'm trying to get it scheduled for September 10th, an actual representative from Flock to come to that council meeting. So I'm not an expert. I know some of it, but I want people to get it right from the horse's mouth.
Sure.
And again, it's all about what you're comfortable with. I want them to be comfortable with it. If not, I'll save $6,000 a year in my budget
Yeah.
and I won't have to maintain it. But it is a really good tool. And it's helped us with a lot. So
And I just feel like we're making a rash movement here. And want them removed.
Yep.
And I think we do need more information. We need more access for the people to come and express their concerns.
I agree. I really do.
I think. the
Where,
same
you know,
thing.
those people that called you,
Yeah. you're not-
why aren't they sitting here?
I agree.
Steve,
So,
I don't think we need like a public hearing. I think if someone's gonna show up in September, people who really don't want it should also show up for that to hear what that representative
Yeah,
says.
we'll just confirm that, chief,
but we
that,
have a motion on the floor, don't
yes, we
forget.
have to, yes, we have to.
withdraw my second if you want to withdraw your motion.
Yes, I will withdraw my motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
But I'd like to make the motion to at least table it so we can get more residents involved, so they at least feel comfortable.
Second,
Okay. We have,
Until 9:10.
on confirmation from the chief. We'll do that on confirmation from the chief
Okay.
about, that I would also like the flock representative to be here. So
Mhm.
they can talk directly to the flock representative. So if you just put that, and I don't want to put it on 9:10 because then it has to be 9:10.
Because.
Well, is that, when is our next meeting? Oh,
9:10.
9:10.
oh, right, because we only have one.
Because
Okay.
without that video, I would have not wanted it, but they made some changes. And that's what kind of,
Okay, so we have a motion to table
Yeah.
until we have confirmation from the chief on the flock representative coming in. Any discussion on the tabling of this motion
We get
Okay.
that, if we get
activity?
the confirmation
Okay.
of the flock representative coming in, just. We can't make people come, but we
Yeah.
can do our due diligence
Yeah,
to get
that's
the
it.
info out there.
Yep.
And
Okay.
invite people in.
Okay.
But I'm, like I said, even though I had made that motion to remove it, it's just for the concerned citizen.
Yep,
I'm
no, I-
100% for
I
it
agree.
because I have nothing to hide.
Yep. Yep, no, I agree. All right, any discussion? Any other discussion?
Nope.
All right, sorry.
Oh, I wanted to know more about the Fourth Amendment issues with it. Have you heard anything?
There hasn't been anything, you know, the chief was correct, you know, obviously the Supreme Court in Rhode Island, or obviously the US has not ruled on anything about that. There's obviously litigation out there, so I can do some research into that. So I can research that, have that to you guys prior to, or for the next meeting, in addition to any contract discussion that we might wanna have.
Okay, great.
So we're just gonna
We're just gonna table
We're
it.
just gonna table it. We voting to table it.
to
Continue
the
it.
first, continue it to the first meeting in September. Well,
Till we get confirmation from the chief on
Okay.
flock representative coming in.
Nick Gordon had his hand up.
You have,
I-
excuse me, Mike,
Yeah.
you have people in the room that came because it was on the agenda and you're not allowing them to speak.
Oh, no,
No,
we're
no,
not,
they can-
we
You
were-
can speak
we're not done.
anytime you want.
Yeah, we're not
So,
done.
we're not done.
When you table and make a motion and vote on it, it's done.
We're still discussing.
I did not see.
Still
it.
under discussion.
It isn't tabled. We didn't vote yet.
We
We didn't
didn't
vote on it,
vote.
yet. We didn't vote on it, so if you want to discuss
So
it,
if
you
you
can.
wanna discuss it, come up and discuss it.
I thought that's where it was going to stay, but it was gonna be over.
No.
My concern was obviously the Fourth
You-
Amendment.
Just your name and your
Brian
address.
Capola, 8 Whippoorwill Foster.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have huge Fourth Amendment concerns with it, and I know it's in the court, and it'll be before the higher courts sooner than later, as we all know. I'm not a very good public speaker, so excuse me.
There's a couple of
Okay.
us in here. You can speak.
Yeah, it's all right. The people, I heard you talking about like who can access this. It's a Flock itself is gathering all this information, not police. They're the first people gathering this information. How do we have control of them? We don't, never will. They can promise us, oh yeah, we won't give that to nobody. No one's looking at it. How do we know? We never will. So don't kid ourselves and say we will, we won't.
I agree. I agree.
So.
No, I agree with that part of it.
Yeah, I think it's just a huge intrusion, as you've seen in Cumberland, when that lady got arrested. Because I know the idea of it was to monitor license plates, but obviously it monitored her person, her face, and got her arrested. And sometimes arrests turn ugly. They can get real ugly for the person, especially if thinks they do nothing wrong and they start protesting. Great harm can come to them.
I agree.
I'm totally against
I
it,
agree.
and my mind will never change. You hear about at what point do we balance out giving up our liberties in the name of law enforcement? Do we put roadblocks up at the end of town and we'll stop people from coming in, and we won't have no crime then? Ask them for their papers, and if you got good papers, you can continue. That's a joke, but not a joke. I'm just saying, but where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
It's got to, and I think this is a good place to draw it.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's about it. That's
Okay.
yeah.
If you remember, you can stand
Yeah.
up.
Come back.
It'll come back to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Again, I'm not for it nor against it, but I will say I have been getting a tremendous amount of phone calls against it. Enough where I had to actually start doing something. So we are going to be looking this year to put some bills in. There are, I think, 7 towns or 6 towns that have already said we don't want them. And they've also told the state police they don't want them. It seems to be a lot of the rural towns. You do have towns like Cranston that are a little bit different community than ours. They have quite a few of them. It looks like they're going to keep them.
you'll see some of the communities that have higher crime are really gonna want the cameras, where the rural communities are kind of backing away, because as you know, we're big on privacy out here, 5 acre lots in rural community. But the ones that do, we're gonna be putting some legislation, and we'll be working with the police departments on it, on kind of, allowing the towns to have the say if they want them or not, like you're thinking about now, and others have decided not to have them. We're gonna keep that in play. We're gonna put a ceiling, a policy in. The police departments can go further, but we're gonna put a policy in on protections on the civil rights, that hopefully the people in the towns that have them, that don't want them, will at least have some kind of assurance. And again, Brian was correct. It's a third party that holds this information. And as we know, we've all had sometimes where things have been abused, and also what do you call that, when the computers, they can get your information, they hack it. So it's not a sealed unit system like some other things are. So it is a third party vendor. And I think they may be allowed to sell some information. It's not part of the contract, because the police department are tracking stuff, but that information can still be sold. So again, the problem is the Fourth Amendment and others. And I have cameras at my motel. They'll read a plate. They'll follow you from the minute you walk in. The camera will follow you. I saw you guys go through last night at about 10 o'clock, went all the way around out through the back way, and get a alert. I'm glad you're doing that. But that's my private. Everybody knows that's on it. But when you're using public dollars to surveil people with their own money back on them, that becomes a different story. So
That's why I think even the legislative side, if
Yeah.
it came first before the flock cameras,
well,
that would
like,
actually help. And I think it.
AI is actually going faster than we
No, I
can
know.
react. We're
I
a
know.
part-time legislature. This last June, July, there wasn't a thing heard about flocks.
Mhm.
So we're out of session. So this has all been starting the last 2 or 3 months as these start popping up. And I've worked with the chief on it. There's only 2 in the town that I know of. There was one concern with one, but I reassured the neighbor that it's not what he thought. But at the end of the day, it's a tough decision that you guys are going to be put in, because there's pros and cons. The first person that has a child that's kidnapped that was against the flock cameras are going to be the first one saying, wishing that they didn't. But again, we got to really put some strong standards in on some bad apples that abuse. I think we had another one today in New Bedford or yesterday.
Yeah, that's.
So that's New Bedford, hit Cumberland. So this is something that's really going to have to be some police policy and state oversight with strict oversight on what can and can't be done.
Yeah, I
Again,
think
there's
at state level, I think
Yeah.
the safeguards are key. Those are really key.
going to be times where they're going to need immediate access. Child gets kidnapped. They're going to need immediate access where they'll be able to do it probably without a court order and get that, and then follow it up with paperwork after that will be reviewed. And then there's times that, and I don't know how they do it when a stolen plate comes. Is that an immediate issue or not? But if you have other issues where they're surveilling, trying to track people, drugs or something, you're definitely going to probably need a warrant, some paperwork to cover that. But we're just going to try and work it on the state level. So just wanted to reassure you on that.
Thank you.
The only thing I question is, as a town, do we even have a say? Cause they're on state roads. I mean.
No, there are cameras. They're town's cameras.
Yeah, and they were contracted
well,
with
we
us.
Yeah, there are
Right,
cameras.
but-
They're not the states.
But we say the resident wants to get away, do away with them, most of the residents,
Mhm.
and that somehow happens. Who's to say the state can't?
Yeah,
come in?
I don't think legally it can come into your town, even if it's on a state road.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I think. I don't think a state can actually come in and put cameras in a town, even if it's on their state road. It's not the same thing as like DOT maintaining their roads. That's a little different.
Well, that's a good question. Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Can they do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what
I don't know.
That's the only thing I was questioning. I was
Yeah.
like, we don't plow the roads, so how can we, tell them what they can and can't do? That's.
In my opinion, I think if the state could legally do it, they would already did it already. I don't think they would listen to.
Unless they want the towns to bear the expense of it, which is what happened, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Well, I know cameras
They have
go
an
up
open
on the
budget.
highways all the time. And
yeah,
so on the say 295, there's cameras where they track or, count how many people's
right.
coming
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
That's still going through a town like Cranston,
It is.
295, so that's what I'm saying, like.
Yeah,
Where's
so it's
the,
possible. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what.
Right, so I mean, I can do more research into it, I haven't specifically looked at the flock, but a lot of that is the curtilage that's owned by the town, it's the state, so. And that's what the placement of the camera is, because it's not like it's in the middle of the highway, you know, it's going to be a camera that's off to the side.
Mhm.
On something, whether that's a street light or whatever else that may or may not be maintained by the town, so. I think where ours are placed are probably all on town property, and we have an interest in that.
Route 6 on this way, and one on the other Route 6 in Situate.
Yeah, I think they're on state.
Oh,
I think they poles are on
okay.
state, but they're not state poles, they're
Right,
Rhode Island Energy. And,
okay,
but I think you need state approval. That's why I think we got state approval to actually put them there.
gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
I can look more into it
Yeah.
though, and get you a firm answer
I'm
on it.
just trying to get as much information
Right.
out there to make the public comfortable.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that we're gonna
Yeah.
revisit
Yeah.
this.
Like I said, I'm 100% for it.
We'll give more people an opportunity to come out and actually speak on it.
Things
Alright.
don't happen a lot in rural towns, but when it does, and
So
it's bad,
Don't jinx
you
us.
need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things happen here. All right, so any other discussion on tabling this item? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? All right. Now. Zoning board applicant. Okay, we have one resume. John Piazik. So I will entertain a motion. To appoint John Piazik to the zoning board.
So move.
wait, this is for a full term,
It's from 24 to 29.
Yeah, so. it's
24,
successful.
29, December 31st. Correct. I'll make a motion to appoint John Piazik.
He moved.
Oh, did
He moved.
you?
Let's see a second.
Oh, with the dates? Okay,
So I didn't put the dates in, I just put so moved.
okay, Sue,
The
okay.
full term. 31.
and I second,
49. Okay, do we have a second?
I did so.
Oh, you
I
second,
second.
okay.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
He's our only applicant,
Yep.
so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Rhode Island Rural Health Transformation Program Grant. Ms. Russ? Can I speak on it?
So Sue and I went to a meeting last week, right? At the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns to discuss this Rhode Island Rural Health Transformation Program grant. It looks as though, and it seems like it's going to be out, but the state is applying for a significant grant through the federal government and they're going to get it. They've already gotten it. So there are 18 communities who qualify for this program that have been designated as rural. Only one actually meets the federal standards of rural, which I think they said Block Island, New Shoreham. But for Rhode Island, based on our specific needs, they were able to get a waiver to include 18 of our communities. Foster, obviously, Gloucester, Situate, West Greenwich, a group. So we all met. So it's actually kind of confusing. But they wanted to make sure that outside agencies who would be reaching out to us because they all have wind of it, would not get ahead of it by applying for the grant for our community themselves versus having the communities apply for it and monitor it and manage it. Because what would happen is it would be very chaotic. We're talking about over $100 million. And the way I understood it was per year, correct? And they don't want it to be a disaster. They want it to be successful because if it's successful, we'll be able to keep the money for the next 5 years. The program's a 5-year program. So the very first initial thing that we have to do is there's a $125,000 grant that is separate from that $130 million that basically provides you the finances to get yourself together, gather stakeholders, kind of figure out what you would do with a grant and what kind of plan you would create for your community. And then you go and apply for the money. And the 125, it's very reminiscent to me as a conservative, financially conservative person. As like a COVID situation where they threw money at this and hope it stuck and figured out what you were going to do with it as you went. So I do see this as like a COVID situation where there was a lot of moving parts as you got further into it, that they started implementing more rules and regulations. But right now, it's pretty open and we could actually hire somebody. We could use the money to have our current social services director be full-time.
Mm-hmm.
We could use the money. These are the things that I see that Sue and I discussed as members of that meeting, that we were streamlining, that we could easily do. And then possibly bring some of this money in. It's something like if I were to work on it, or Sue were to work on it, or our planner were to work on it, you could charge the grant for that time, even though you're already paying for it. So something like that was very similar when COVID first came out. That's a good portion of that's how we funded the beginning of the police station.
Mm-hmm.
We used the money for operations, we got the money in, then we created a surplus, and then we used that money for what we needed it, right? I'm not saying that we would do this for $150,000 plus, but I do think as a rural community, we have things that we can do. We have a van that basically the whole idea of the senior van was to bring people together and have a senior center and do all of these things. 90% of the senior van is being used to transport our elderly or disabled, one person at a time, to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Because there's no transportation here.
Right.
About 2 weeks ago, I had somebody in my office for a solid hour trying to find a ride. Thank you, Tyler, for that, because he ended up at our place and he didn't have a ride. He couldn't get an Uber. He couldn't get anywhere. And it was so bad that I almost had to give the guy a ride to get him out of my office. So, I mean, and he had some problems. We could do so many things. We could get a second vehicle. Our social services director is looking at a second driver to give more opportunities, but we don't have the funding for that. This would most definitely fall under that plan. Well, one often calls the driver of the van to schedule appointments for our residents, because if he's not free, they can't go because there's no way for them to get there. So that's definitely, and that's the whole point, was to bring better healthcare to rural communities and to have these rural residents have access to the same care that other people do. So you could use the money if we had a dental provider here and he didn't have accessibility. You could help him create accessibility. You could work with Well One to create programs where maybe they came to our community in certain areas. We could open up a clinic at the police station in the community room one day a week. There are so many things that we can do with this money. It's fantastic. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually apply for the first tier of it, which is it's really 155,000. The first 125 is to streamline, to get your stakeholders involved, to do all of these things, possibly hire somebody who could do this. Great. And then the other 30,000, I think they said, were for materials and equipment. I mean, you are talking about a significant amount of money if you have a plan. So I think that we need a good
And
plan, some really great
Emily will
to
come up with
streamline
plans
all
for it.
of these. It's not just Emily.
No, I know it isn't just her, but she's
They're
got,
a large
Yeah.
group of people and it has to be successful. So
yeah.
you really have to figure out what is our need as a community, and that would require people from Hemlock. It would require people from Well One. You could help Well One, actually. You could do so many different things. I mean, we currently subsidize Well One's taxes. Did you know that? So we give them a 50% credit. They're like one of the only businesses that we do that, because without them here,
Right.
Foster residents, I can't tell you, the last time I asked somebody in Foster whose doctor wasn't somehow associated with Well One. I mean, so usually they're people who have moved from other places and kept their doctorate, not people who grew up here.
Yeah.
So you could do so many things with this money, and it is a significant amount of money. It's $136 million divided by 18 communities.
Yeah.
So it's not evenly distributed. You have to have a plan. But if
Yeah.
your plan's just as good as somebody else's, and they have the money, and you can meet your deliverables, it's good. So with your permission, I'm going to apply for this grant this
Had
week.
quite a few people call wanting to.
Do exactly what
Exactly what we
they
would do
said.
as a community, but they'll take it over and they will spend the money and they will do, and I said no, and they wanted to fill out the application and I said no. Our application is
Okay.
going in
Because
first.
you can't,
Yeah,
have
no.
multiple people from the same community, agencies and stuff apply, they're gonna give it to
Right.
one.
Yeah.
So like EMS, if EMS were to apply for it, then the town couldn't apply for it. We could go through EMS to possibly put our 2 cents in.
Yeah.
But that's.
But I prefer that we as a town apply for it, EMS go through us to put their 2 cents in.
Right.
It
Right.
could be kind of a different thing. And Rhode Island Leagues of Cities and Towns, who really is an agency that works for the towns,
Mhm.
had this meeting specifically to tell us that.
Yep.
They said that they've gotten a lot of the word that all these people are inundating agencies now, the municipalities and saying, we'll apply for you, we'll do this, and giving all these things. And people don't know enough about it to shut them down. They didn't realize, like, if they do, and you don't apply, that money's going to them,
Yeah.
and now
Right.
you can't, you might be able to apply in 2 or 3, but generally speaking, now they're that.
I had
person.
3 different companies actually contact me about that. And the last one that just contacted me, I looked them up and they just went LLC last year.
Yeah,
Um,
because this was in the works.
Just created. no-
So
Yeah.
it, and that's what Randy said,
Yeah.
that Randy Rossi said that it's gonna be nonstop, because when you have that kind of money
Yeah.
flood
Mm.
a small area,
A lot of people want to help.
yeah, a lot of people wanna help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we need,
Why?
so this is,
Yeah.
so I'll,
That's right.
Do you want to make a motion?
well, I was going to speak first.
Now, I was just gonna say, I think it was about 6 months ago or something when I had seen it in the paper. And I asked you about it, but the cities and towns didn't have any
We didn't know
information.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who you get, if you get someone to develop this, I would urge you to go to Hemlock Village and speak to the residents. It's not easy to get them in a group, believe me, I understand. But once you do, they all have an opinion on what they need.
Yeah.
So it's a starting point.
Yes.
I mean, I really do think, just from the people who call us, they need transportation.
Yeah. Sure.
It
Yeah.
would be fantastic if we could create some sort of like a system for transportation where we could pay somebody to drive people, vet them
Not a
properly.
big van, maybe something.
Maybe a
small.
smaller van, because
yeah.
that van is very expensive to operate.
Yeah.
It was not meant for single rides to Providence,
Exactly.
no.
right?
So
I
this
think
is
we can
from-
do stuff like, ADA doors and stuff like that.
So many
Yeah.
things,
Mm.
so many things. It's endless.
Yeah.
What we could do.
No, that's great.
If we could get a large group of people together, streamline
help.
all these options, we'll have a good plan.
It makes sense
We
that
don't
we
need to make
do
a
that because
Just
the
to
other
authorize.
departments open to apply for other grants.
Do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because
Yep,
the more, the better for the community.
right.
It is. So Steve, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the finance director, Kelly Russ, to apply for the Rhode Island Rural Health Transformation Program grant.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Just a little bit more information. This first part is happening very quickly. That's why there was a meeting last week. I just got an email saying that there's another second meeting on Monday that's on Teams that I'll attend as well. And the application is due at the end of August.
Mm.
And from there, that first
Wow.
part is going to run quickly because they're trying to get the money here. And they have to have it obligated by September 30th. Or
wow.
they're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's quick.
It's quick. It's gonna be a quick turnaround. So that's why we're gonna need help in hiring somebody.
Is there anybody for public comment?
There was somebody, right?
Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing in here, but that's fine.
Robert DeRosa, 100 Danielson Pike. My house is located about a quarter mile down from the traffic light on the left-hand side. And, glad the police officers are here again, thank you, sir. That quarter mile at sometimes is like the New England Dragway. Okay, got a couple of issues going on over there. Actually, the other thing I'd like to speak about is the timing on that traffic light. If there's any way that we have any control with the state as far as changing the timing.
Yeah, Gordon can call them.
Because what happens is every week or every day, I should say, between the hours of about 3 and 6, there's a traffic jam over there. And I know 94 is not that busy. If they could extend the time on that traffic light, 15 seconds, 30 seconds for Route 6, it'll make all the difference. Some days if I'm trying to my driveway at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll take 5-10 minutes. And some people at night, they'll let you right up, but you're gonna watch out for the traffic.
Coming the other way.
It's coming the other way. So, and my neighbor is here.
It's changed.
No, it's getting worse and it's getting.
Fixed and then.
Right, so if there's anything, if we have any control at all with the amount of timing on that, and it's just the peak hours.
Good phone call.
Thank you very much, I certainly appreciate that. The other thing, getting back to my original comment about Northern Dragway, is that motorcycles that stop at that traffic light at 94, I don't know if they think they're gonna, see how far they can go, but some of them are in excess of 100 miles an hour
Wow.
in that quarter mile,
The motorcycles.
the motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some high performance vehicles that are doing the same thing.
Mm.
And he says, he sees the same thing that I do. And I don't know if there's something you can do about that. I've noticed some, a little bit more police presence on that road. I've seen a lot of people getting stopped. Most of them, believe it or not, are Connecticut vehicles that I see getting stopped over there. So again, public information, it seems like, and you're gonna find out, the police station is at the perfect location.
Yeah.
Location. Okay, because what happens, and it probably happens the other way, because coming from 94 going towards Connecticut, it's a straight line. People want to see how fast they can take off with their cars, and I know it's a certain age group, it's a certain area that does this here, the Rice Rockets and all these guys. But. Thank you.
As you get the background noise.
So, but, so that's one topic I'd like to see if you guys could take a look at. The other thing is, the traffic light was one thing. Tractor trailers. Okay, they're getting worse. And I don't know if we can do a traffic study in that area or in any part of Route 6. This all started mostly when they came out with the tolls back in the teens, when they started with that. They did away with that, but now they're talking about bringing the tolls back on 95. If they bring the tolls back on 95, I believe right now we average about 1,500 tractor trailers going by on Route 6 every day. That's a state highway. If they're putting tolls on 95, you're gonna increase that amount of tractor trailer traffic coming through here. Maybe somebody should talk to the state about putting tolls on Route 6. Because they would make a lot of money.
I'm driving a Ferrari right now.
The other thing is that between, I don't know what you have for your staff on duty between the hours of 4 AM and 6 AM. A lot at that time. Caravan of truck drivers. And at that time, the light is usually green for the most part, because nobody's tripping it on 94. And I'll tell you, the tractor trailers, I know they're gonna make a living, but they do 70, 80 miles an hour on Route 6, my house, his house, they fly. They really fly. And again, I know they're gonna make a living, but. And Jake brakes.
2 months ago, the truck went off the side of the road.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Walks
I
right
don't know
down.
how that.
Ended up behind the
I'm trying
guardrail.
to figure that
Yeah.
out, so it was straight, it was good weather, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
So these things, like I said, I'm glad you're here. The Jake brakes, you're gonna find out. When they're coming down Route 6 from Connecticut and they gotta stop before they get to that light. The Jake brakes are gonna go off and the police station's gonna hear them and I'm used to that. I've been living there long enough now. It's like white noise, loud white noise. So if there's any attention that we can bring to this here, timing on the traffic light, the constant speeding, and the caravans of trucks that go by, and I'll sit there every once in a while, and we average. A truck every minute going by the house, back the trailer, and sometimes between the hours of 4 and 6, it'd be like 4 or 5 going by at the same time in the caravan. So if we have an influence with the state at all, as far as what they're gonna do with the tolls, when they initiate the tolls again on 95, that's gonna bring everybody up 395 and up Route 6 and
It will.
more.
Yeah.
So Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Just to answer some of those not questions, but concerns. I was just alerted that Amazon's going Killingly, Connecticut. Okay, so there's more tractor trailers coming, right?
Concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, they must have 15 or 20 trucks. in a
Yep.
day.
It's definitely a concern. I can tell you that we are rebuilding our numbers. We were at the bare minimum. We're getting up to where we need to be. It takes a long time. Well, I know. Trust me, I know.
Have to go out there.
Yeah.
It's a-
4
years ago, I called and asked, where are the police?
Mhm.
Why are there so many parked cruisers?
Mhm.
And the gentleman I spoke to said it's not in the budget. So now we have a police station. I wanna see it used.
Well, so do I, and that's the goal.
Because I'm at the point, I listen to talk radio all day.
Mhm.
I hear Gordon calling. I'm at the point where I don't want to,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna get out of this country, even the country. Because I'm disgusted by what I hear. Common sense people, they don't want a flop camera in Cranston to catch somebody that came through here to commit a crime. They wanna see the guy get away with it because they have the mindset. He should have got caught anyway, because his rights were violated. So this is the mentality that's thinking you're seeing in this country today. Confusing.
Can I have your name, please, sir?
Brian knows that.
Brian Prezak?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So again, we're getting our staffing up. It will improve the enforcement on Route 6. Just having that station in that location is gonna be a huge deterrent, right? So have a little more patience. We're gonna get there, all right? And don't leave the country.
Awesome. Not that, the state first.
We need to keep it here.
I'm sorry.
I see. I need one here, please.
Shauna Sanders, 3.5 Burgess Road. Hi, Susan. I arrived late. I wasn't sure if public comment was just on the old business or new business as well.
It's open to
Okay.
public comment.
Okay.
It's just why we
Um,
can't answer any questions.
We just respond.
I did receive your text
Okay.
and
I would've been-
I wanted to get more information because I was blindsided by that. I had no idea about it.
Okay. Well, little bit of background for our police officers as well. So, both my husband and I are longtime, I am a former US intelligence officer. Spent 12 years working for a 3-letter organization. That's all I'll say. But involved in national security, worked all over the year, worked all over the country, worked all over the world, a couple of tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. My husband is still active duty Navy. Both of us had TS clearances. Both of us were heavily involved in intelligence collection activities. Let me say that. There is a full host of protections for US citizens guaranteed to us by our Constitution, put in place by our elected civic leaders in Washington to protect each and every one of us from errant collection activities on us that violate our constitutional rights. And so during my time working for DOD, and during the time my husband has worked for US Navy, there are very clear procedures that we had to follow to make sure that we were not going to violate a single American citizen's rights to due process, rights to privacy, Fourth Amendment rights. I mean, I could go through and I can list all these documents, DIM 5811, 5812, Executive Order 12333. I can go on. But the point is that I am very alarmed about the flock cameras. I was aware of the one that sits right in the intersection by the Dunkin' Donuts off of Chatmas Hill Road and 6. I thought it was a traffic camera. It's been there for years. So when I learned about the capabilities of these cameras and of this collection system on US government employees, on average American citizens, I was horrified. And I'm horrified for a number of reasons. Number one, my family comes out of Eastern Europe. I have relatives still living in what was today, today Slovenia was previously from Yugoslavia, where they had such a tightly controlled intelligence apparatus that people weren't allowed to breathe, weren't allowed to contact relatives in the West. We talk about the Stasi. So the the Yugoslav was worse. The kind of capabilities that these cameras have to capture the data in each and every one of us who have a smartphone, to capture license plates, to triangulate that with known intelligence databases, law enforcement databases, is horrifying. And so if I had tried to collect that kind of information on any US citizen without a warrant, without a clear need to know, and quite frankly, a criminal reason to know, I would have gone to jail, probably for the rest of my life. However, these cameras have now been installed, apparently in Foster. I'm paying for them. Everyone in this room is paying for them. And I want to know who authorized this, where that information is going, who it's being sold to, because it's all being bundled and sold. And my number one concern, as someone who went with my husband as diplomats to Israel to work at US Embassy Tel Aviv, is where is this being sent? Because I am not okay with what is going on in the Middle East. I'm definitely not okay with what's going on with regard to the Palestinian situation in Israel. I know exactly what their capabilities are and what they're doing to people. And if we are stupid enough to give them this information on each and every one of us, we are basically giving them a dossier to control our lives. So I've got some questions. Certainly, this is not a personal attack on our law enforcement officers here. It is not a personal attack on any of you, but I think we have to lay this out on the table and say, how did we get here where each and every citizen, taxpayer in the town of Foster is being considered a criminal, and all this information without our knowledge, but with our tax dollars, is being used to suck up all this.
So we're gonna have the representative from Flock actually come in.
Oh, good.
So it'll be scheduled.
Thank you for your service and your husband too.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment? No? Okay, go to executive session.
I move to go into executive closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5 for discussions or work